Okay, Shadowplay is on, Twitch is live, and I'm going to try this again. I just spent the last 10 minutes talking to myself because I think my Twitch was on the be right back screen. Okay. So, welcome to the video. Today we're going to be doing the Proboscis Cernos. In this series, I like to take weapons, I build them out, and I test them on their own merits. I try to test them without any external factors. There's no Warframe abilities that buff them. I'm not killing with Warframe abilities. There's no pets that buff them. Nothing like that. No Archon shards. And that way we can get a look at how the weapon itself performs. And then, the viewers themselves can make an educated idea on how that weapon would perform with a Warframe buff. If your Warframe gives you extra fire rate, maybe you don't need a fire rate mod on that weapon. But I leave that up to you as the viewer there. So today we're going to be doing the Proboscis Cernos. It's a primary bow. Now the Proboscis Cernos has a unique effect in that its radial attack does viral. So there's no need to put viral on the Proboscis Cernos. You're not going to be getting much of your damage from direct damage. You're going to be getting it from AoE. So the viral that you get from your AoE is perfect. So instead of putting viral on, we're going to put corrosive on instead, because corrosive is kind of like the next best element. So we're doing high voltage and malignant force to make corrosive. And then we're going to go with two heat mods to make the heat and make the heat weighted higher. That's why we go with two heat mods. So if you look at the elements here, just in case anyone doesn't know how it works, when you inflict a status effect, it kind of like rolls through all these numbers, and it picks one. And so if something has a higher value, there's more chance of it to get picked. And so the things that you want your weapon to apply more of, you want a higher weighting. And so, viral stacks maximum at 10. So there's really no point in weighting viral very high. Corrosive is okay to get a good amount of stacks on. Slash is very good usually to get a lot of stacks on, but we're not necessarily making a slash build with this. So we're gonna put two heat mods on just to get that heat a little bit higher weighted there, higher than the corrosive. That way, more often than not, we're gonna get a heat proc instead of the other ones. Galvanized chamber for multi-shot. Prime Firestorm to increase your AoE effect. And then Serration and Heavy Caliber both to increase flat damage. And then you have Merciless also to increase flat damage. Alternatively, you could, well, you know what? I wouldn't do Hunter Munitions. You're not really going to crit with this weapon. So yeah, this is the build right here. Heavy Caliber is going to be your Riven slot as well. So when you get a Riven, and if you're happy with it, pop Heavy Caliber off, put the Riven there, and you'll be good to go. Arrow Mutation is going to be put on just because this weapon, its downfall is its extremely poor ammo supply of only 7 shots. Because of its poor ammo supply, that's another reason we don't really put fire rate mods on here. It's like sometimes for some bows, actually for most bows, fire rate's good because it just makes you draw the arrow back faster. But when you only have 7 shots, you really do want to make sure that your shot is hitting the maximum amount of targets. You just don't want to be shooting it like crazy, willy-nilly, all over the place. So there's really no need to have fire rate on this weapon. If you get it through a Riven, it's not, that bad. It's fine, but you don't need to get it on this weapon. So Arrow Mutation to help you with the ammo supply. And then we're going to use Merciless instead of Deadhead just because we are going to get most of our kills through AoE. So we're going to be doing a Kuba Survival on Steel Path for 15 minutes. We're going to test this weapon on Trash and Acolytes. And then after that, we're going to take it through a Lua Conjunction Survival on Steel Path. And we're going to see how far I can get there before I run out of air. We're going to be doing this on an Inaros with no Archon Shards. No mods that affect weapon damage. No arcanes that affect weapon damage. And a pet with no weapon and no mods on that affect weapon damage. Also, before we go into this, I like to test weapons on their own merit. I try not to use ammo pads if I don't have to, because I want to see if the weapon runs out of ammo extremely fast, or how bad the ammo supply is. So I will only use an ammo pad if I have to, and if I do use an ammo pad, I will let you know. Actually, it's in my Naros here. But for this specific test, I'm also going to be putting on dispensary, just because I think this weapon might have so much ammo issues that an ammo pad won't be enough, because on Steel Path, the ammo pad has a cooldown of a few minutes. So I'm going to mix it with dispensary. But just like the ammo pad, if I have to use a dispensary, I will also let you know. Okay, we'll do the Kuba survival first, 15 minutes.
Scans show Grenier are harvesting Kuba nearby. Set off the alarms to draw them out.
I'm going to use my 4 to double my armor, and then that's going to be the last Inaros ability that I use. If I have to use dispensary, I'll let you know.
Sending modified life support capsules. Use these to sustain your environment or attach Kuba catalysts to begin harvesting.
So what the Proboscis Cernos does is it pulls enemies in, and then it'll explode. Once we get our Merciless stacks up, it's going to start one-shotting these guys. Now the pull radius is affected by fulmination, which is why we use it. It will cause self-stagger as well, just like you saw there. Let's see how far this might pull guys. There we go. That's about as far as it goes there. It's not really the best grouping ability. If you were to try to compare this weapon's grouping effect to pull or larva, things like that, it's not going to be as good just because it's slow. They kind of slowly move towards center. As you can see, you don't really need crazy fire rate, because there's really no point in blazing this weapon away. I'm going to move to that first set of life supports there. The self-stagger is also not instant. It happens about like a second or so after you shoot it. So you can shoot it at your feet. As long as you're out of the area, you won't be self-staggering yourself. I really don't like fighting in this area. This is my wife's favorite weapon because it doesn't require you to have to like ADS. She's not like the strongest ADS player. And so if you're also not very good at ADS, maybe you're like on controller, maybe it's a little bit harder to get consistent headshots. This can be a really good weapon for you because it doesn't require you to aim in at all. Because this is a status build, we're going to get mostly white and yellow crits, or white non-criticals and yellow criticals. Just because it has a very, very low base crit. We're actually not having as many ammo issues as I thought we were going to have. Against the Acolyte, I think it's going to be okay. Even though this is a trash-killing weapon, because you can put corrosive on it, you don't need to like go hard with viral. I think it's going to be okay against the Acolyte. I don't think it'll be amazing, but I think it'll do. Somehow I just knocked myself down there. You're going to be trying to hit that Acolyte with the AoE effect of this, which I'm not really doing a good job. So first Acolyte down. To the life support here. Stay here for a little bit longer until we use that last life support in this area. We'll go to the next area. I really don't like fighting in this area. Against Eximuses, it's not going to do too much. It's not going to pull them if they have Overguard, so you're going to want to be doing the AoE damage thing. So you want to shoot like next to their feet, basically. Just because it won't blow up to center. So I was wrong about the ammo supply. The ammo supply is low, and it's, you know, it is normally pretty bad. But as long as you have arrow mutation on, you're doing pretty well. I haven't struggled for ammo. And when you're with a group of other people, you know, they're going to be killing as well. You're going to have more enemies on the map, so you know, ammo won't be an issue at that point either. So as long as you have that arrow mutation on, you'll be golden. As you can see, it'll kind of pull enemies out of line of sight too, it looks like. So let me see if I can test that here. Yeah, it's still grabbing those guys, even though it's on the other side of the wall here. So we're at almost 10 minutes in. We're doing really good on life support. We haven't really needed to hit too many.
Successful we will be.
As far as Riven stats go, you know, I'm trying to think here. You would want status chance. It's kind of boring, but I guess flat damage also. You know, you would replace it over heavy caliber, which is flat damage itself. But more flat damage in replace of that flat damage might be good. Just because this is a pure status weapon, you don't really want to be going crits. You're not, you know, the only thing critical damage is affecting is anything you see that's yellow, which is not like any. Very few of these numbers are yellow, so it's not really worth going crit damage. If you went crit chance, like to get full yellow crits, you would probably have to have both crit chance mods on and a crit chance Riven. And at that point, you're wasting a lot of mod slots to get like yellow crits, which is not good. That's why this is pure status. You really just want to be focusing on status. So for a Riven, flat damage, status chance, and then if you were to get like a 3 positive stat Riven, maybe fire rate. It's not the best on this weapon, but I'm trying to think what else. Maybe another element. Maybe more fire actually. Yeah, with fire rate, you would further increase your fire rate. Or heat, sorry, rather. I know we don't really need it right now, but I'm going to grab that life support, and then we'll head over to the next area. Just because I don't like fighting inside there. We'll be ending the Kuba survival in about 3 minutes, and then we're going to head over to the Lua Conjunction, which is going to be a bit harder. Enemies start in Lua Conjunction at 180 to 200. And we're also going to be fighting a different types of enemies, so it's not just going to be Grineer. See there, I ran out of ammo. Just because I was kind of shooting a little bit willy-nilly at like single targets without trying to group them. once you start grouping, you see I'm right back into getting more ammo here. So yeah, just don't shoot willy-nilly. Try not to shoot excessively at single targets that may or may not even drop ammo. We have the third and final acolyte coming in. Let's make sure we have max merciless stacks. So we'll get a few kills here. It's in that mess somewhere. Alright, so we're about 15 minutes in. We're going to start heading towards the attraction. So for 15 minutes, we've gotten 1,128 kills, which is very good.
Do this without you.
1,128 kills, and the acolytes were quite easy to kill with this. Even though this is a trash-killing weapon, you know, they're weak to corrosive, and you're going to have corrosive on this weapon, so it does a lot of damage to acolytes as well. Okay, so next we're going to be going into the Lua conjunction. And we're going to see how far this weapon can take us through Lua conjunction before we run out of air. I have a lot of confidence in this weapon. I think it's going to do fine. And if it does too well, we'll just cut it off at 30 minutes through Lua conjunction.
Your weapons make music, and the enemy calls for a song.
The Orican neurophone is attempting to purge you from this place. Stand by for life support.
if you're watching this and you have any suggestions on what weapon to do next, just let me know. If you're on Twitch, you can just write in the chat. Or if you're on YouTube, you can comment. I'm still fairly new, so I don't have a large viewership. I have a very small. And so my wife was actually the one that suggested the Proboscis Cernos, just because she uses it so much. Even though she has the build. I've given her the build already and she has it. I guess she just wanted to see it. So I'm not really having any air issues, which is great for Lua Conjunction. The 5-minute mark is really going to test me though, because that's the first 5-minute mark is usually where the Acolyte and Thraxus spawn at about the same time. Usually. The Acolyte is kind of like on a random timer, but he'll usually spawn about the same time as Thraxus. So we're going to have the Acolyte coming now, which is actually pretty good. It's at 4 minutes. So we should be able to kill that Acolyte before
If they detect you, fighters will soon attack.
the Thraxus spawn. Misery.
You're here. Prepare for sentient fighters.
It's pretty easy. Should get Thraxus here.
The longer you hold them,
Thraxus should also be pretty easy, just because they're going to be weak to corrosive.
extraction is ready. These manifestations must not be able to foothold on Kuba. Life support is at risk. Destroy them.
My aim on my amp was not there that time. Now, something to note about status weapons is they do really well paired with certain Warframes that force crit. Because, you know, the weapon themselves can't really crit. So if you can get a Warframe that'll force crits on you, should have your status and your crit build. You would probably have low crit damage though, so that, you would be critting, you would be doing some extra damage, but you wouldn't be doing so much extra damage. But it's just something to keep in mind. There is ways to get crits on status builds using Warframes, but that's not what this series is going to be about. This series is just going to be about testing weapons on their own merits and seeing how far they can go. I've tested a few weapons now. I will probably redo some of those tests though, just because I currently only have one video on YouTube. This will be the second one, and some of the first tests I didn't record, so they're just on Twitch, and Twitch doesn't hold your videos forever. They eventually go away. Oh, someone stole my weapon back there. Oh my goodness. Here's away. That's how much I was paying attention. Look at that. Three shots of the Proboscis Cernos and that huge is gone. They probably didn't even need all three. Probably just two of them. They would have died to the procs. A lot of the weapons we tested, though, that were, good weapons, but not necessarily that good, they super struggle at that 5-minute mark when the Thraxes and the Acolyte spawn, like at similar times. I don't think this one will have an issue. I think this one will actually just go a full 30 minutes. And we also did this Tenant Cyclone before this one, and that one also went 30 minutes. Before I cut the video. So they're both extremely still viable, the two weapons. Well, I mean, I guess I haven't technically taken this one all the way. I shouldn't count my chickens before they hatch. One Thrax, I'm going to work on the second one, and then I'll have to do a couple of life sports. Let's get our Merciless stacks back up. We'll be able to do more damage. There we go. Gonna hit this life sport. I'm going to head back just to make sure I picked up all the little yellow life supports. I'm going to kill a few of these guys. There's a big pack of enemies here, and then I'll head to the next set of life supports. Alright, enemies will start funneling into this room now. It is really evident once your merciless stacks start dropping off, because you'll go from one-shotting to, you know, kind of doing like half damage to them. But it's pretty quick to get them back up. You might just have to throw like, you know, two arrows into a large group, and then bam, your merciless stacks are back up. That'll only happen when you have to move around and you're not killing consistently, and so you'll lose a few stacks. You know, like right now, I'm going to go for this life support. I'll probably lose a few stacks of merciless while I'm doing this. Yeah, 9 stacks, 8 stacks. And then, you know, a few arrows in, bam, back up. Out of ammo. I was shooting a little bit willy-nilly there, but just kind of went around, pick up the ammo that was on the ground. Yeah, 5 arrows there. Actually, both times through the Kuba survival and through the Lewis survival, I haven't had to use ammo pads or the dispensary that I put on this Naros. So I guess I kind of wasted resources there, but that's okay. What else to put on a Naros? So we have Malice. He's going to put a bubble on me. If I try to shoot while this bubble's on, I'll kill myself. Actually, I should kill myself there and do some AoE damage. So I'll wait till he puts the next bubble on me, and then I'm going to focus on Malice. Almost killed myself again. I really hate Malice. Perfect. Malice is dangerous because he can make you kill yourself, and you know, weapons in this game will hit for thousands or millions in some cases, and even if you're in a Naros with 10,000 HP, you can kill yourself in one hit if you're not careful. I was kind of not paying attention, and I let my life support go. So let's focus on getting these guys down here. Weapon stolen at least not a long time. Goes down to 30 again. I will get life support. Trying to avoid the little guys stealing my weapons. So I'm running around like a chicken without a head. They're almost dead, I think. Probably hit 2 of these life supports, and then I'll head over to the next life support area. I'll kill a few guys, though, just to clean up this area and pick up some yellow life supports. Okay, I think we're good. again, my merciless stacks had fallen off, so that's why it's pretty weak right now until they're back up.
Those oculists are scanning for targets. The sentient has detected you. Fighters incoming.
30 seconds. We'll have Firaxes in a minute and a half. Probably get next acolyte pretty soon. There he is. Torment. Make sure that merciless stacks are up. Get a few kills from trash. Hit this next port.
Don't worry, I'll take very good care of Marina. I have just the spot in the kennel for her.
Hiding Rua in the void risks the unfathomable. I fear we are seeing
It's nice doing this because my clan actually needs the
destroy these void-stained beings.
purple dye that you get from these Luithraxes.
Sought to present them with
So this series is going to help me farm those up. Just because they're not the easiest things to farm. You know, they only spawn once every 5 minutes and they, be careful with my ammo. Get a bunch of trash mobs in there. Don't want to use a, I might have to use one here. Yeah, no ammo. I'm going to use an ammo pad right here. It's the first time I've used an ammo pad. I was shooting a little bit willy-nilly. It's probably my own fault why I ran out. So that's the first ammo pad use, and I have not used this gun to me at all. life supports here. I'm getting a little bit low. Even with a strong weapon, eventually on Lua Conjunction, you will be chasing life supports. Just because over time, the Thraxes, they suck too much life support from you. You know, enemies get stronger, so you're not getting the yellow life supports as quick. So you will slow down eventually. Just wasted that shot. It's okay.
Sentient scouts. If they detect you, fighters will soon attack.
I think what I'm going to do for the series is I'm going to try to pick a good weapon and then a weapon I think might not be that good, like for the next day. I'll kind of like alternate. That way I can still go through all the weapons, but we don't have like a spree of god tier weapons that go to 30 minutes, and then we have a spree of like, you know, garbage weapons that die in 5 minutes. We can kind of have like a little bit of a mix. Obviously, with garbage weapons, I'm going to try to get them past 5 minutes, but a lot of them just won't be able to. Just because maybe they do okay against trash, but as soon as the Acolyte and the Thraxes spawn, they choke. Which, in a lot of my testing that's not on YouTube, that's kind of what happened.
Long ago, one of their kind put an end to that final desperate hunt for the sun.
So right here we have the Thraxes and the Acolyte spawning at the same time.
Destroy these infestations.
He died. Alright, I'm going to hit another ammo there. It's going to be the second ammo pad we've used. Get this life support. We killed the Acolyte without trying. More so trying to kill these Thraxes. Don't make me use another one. Alright, I need to use another one. I can't, so I'm going to pop the first dispensary there. Let's get life support. Pop 8 ammo there just to try to salvage this. So right now the Thraxes do have a lot of health, and it's taking me a lot to kill them. Okay, need to run to the next life support there. It's on the other side, isn't it? almost at the 30-minute mark. Let's get this guy to it. Now I have had to use a bit of the ammo at the end. There was actually even one time where I had to use two of them almost at the same time, both an ammo pad and a dispensary. I said it when I used it, so you know, I haven't used one and not said it. So, but there's still been like I think 3 times now using ammo pads and 1 time using the dispensary. Kind of Congo line them over to the next life support, just because I'm going to have to go over this. 30 seconds until the next set of Thraxes, and that'll also be the 30-minute mark that we can roll out. So, looks like this weapon will get to 30 minutes, which means that it is a strong steel path weapon. It's a well above average weapon. I don't know that it competes with, like, you know, S-tier meta weapons currently in the game, but it's a very, very powerful steel path weapon. And on certain warframes with certain abilities, you know, you might find interactions that can make it S tier. So I'm going to kill these Thraxes, and then I'm going to head to extraction. So at this point, I don't care for Round of Air. We'll just kill these guys, get our loot, and get out of here. And then I'll go over the build one more time. That'll be the end of it. Angst here. Alright, that's everything. Get my loot, we'll head out. Now we're at 1,843 kills. That's just using the Proboscis Cernos. Let me just double check. Yeah, no melee kills. So just the Proboscis Cernos in 30 minutes, 1,844 kills. That's pretty good. There was one time it was kind of dodgy with life supports. The rest of the time we were sitting pretty. Used, I think it was 3 ammo pads. Might have been 4, but I think it was 3. And then 1 dispensary. And like 2 or 3 of those were during, I think it was like 1 or 2 of the ammo pads, and 1 of the dispensaries was during the sketchy time at like 25-ish minutes, I think it was. Okay, let's go over the build one more time. So it's the Proboscis Cernos. The Proboscis Cernos has a unique thing where it gets viral damage on radial attacks. Most of your damage is going to be from radial attacks, if not all of it, really. And so there's no need to put viral on the weapon. Instead, you know, we'll have viral on the weapon from its innate, and then we're going to put corrosive. So we have viral, corrosive, and then we're going to put heat. But we're not just going to put 1 heat mod, we're going to put 2 heat mods. So we're going to put the 60-60 heat, and we'll put the 90 heat on. That way we have a higher heat rating than anything else. That way more of our element procs are heat over everything else. Galvanized chamber for multi-shot. Prime Firestorm to increase the blast radius and pull radius. And then Serration and Heavy Caliber for flat damage. Heavy Caliber will be the one you pop off when you want a Riven. arrow mutation is necessary. This weapon
Oh,
is
it's
not
picking up a distress signal.
very.
Wait, no.
It's not very ammo
It's just
efficient,
the corpus packing
especially when
everywhere.
you get later on into Steel Path and enemies take maybe 2 or 3 arrows per group to kill. Arrow mutation is super needed. Primary Merciless for an Arcane, just because most of your kills will be through AoE, so there's no point in doing Deadhead. All right, and that was the build. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any suggestions on the next weapon to use, I'm going to end the Twitch stream here, but if you have any suggestions, go on YouTube and type it in the comments there. It'll be Salt_Prime. Again, I appreciate you guys watching, and thank you so much.